aboard the JB and Goldwater Show, live, loud, and online, and today on location in Mount Pleasant at Compound Antonelli. This is where Debbie Antonelli is set for the second year in a row to sink 2,400 free throws in 24 hours, and every penny that comes alongside that will go to Special Olympics South Carolina. Darren Goldwater, Jamie Bradford, we're here for an hour. I guess they're calling us the pregame show, which is nice. We appreciate that. And Debbie is set to join us here in just a little bit. Hey, Darren.
Tried to tag him in a Instagram thing, but I couldn't find 24 hours nothing but net right there. So I just tagged Debbie.
Well, so here's the setup. We're on the YouTube channel, 24 hours nothing but net. So if you have YouTube on your phone, your computer, you type in 24 hours nothing but net, and the live stream is up and running, and it's going to be up and running until tomorrow when Debbie concludes right around noon. Tomorrow afternoon on Sunday. We are also live streaming, you said, on Twitter, on Debbie's Twitter page, right?
Wherever, yeah, the video crew is up and running. They've got everything hammered down here. So we are up with them, and then we are on the Podbean app, obviously. Then this will be podcast everywhere in the world after that. Right. And we're going to watch Debbie get ready to start this whole thing.
The Antonelli family is all here, and Patrick, Joey, Frankie, Frank, and Debbie. And they're all ready for Mom to get started here in just a little while. About 57 minutes or so is when this thing will kick off. And the torch will be here soon for Special Olympics South Carolina. And that will burn all through the afternoon, through the evening, and into tomorrow morning right here in Debbie's front yard. In Mount Pleasant. There's going to be a fairly heavy media presence, as there was last year when it was held at the Town Hall Gymnasium in Mount Pleasant. And once again, Debbie is trying to do something that's pretty remarkable. $85,000 was the number last year. She sits at $52,881 currently. And I got a feeling, Darren, when we pull this sucker up tomorrow, once this event is underway and it's started to stretch its way kind of across not just our state, but the country, like it has been doing, you will see that number jump. And I got a feeling it might be year two, but it will be record year number 2.
There's no question she's going to get exactly where she's trying to get to, if not even farther than that.
Absolutely.
I heard from Heather Dinich, who you put her right on the spot yesterday.
I did. I know. I did. Yeah. I texted Debbie. I said I put Heather Dinich on the spot, but she said she was donating. So
yeah, she wasn't matching, but she was happy to donate. And then she reached out to me later yesterday and said, "Man, give me that website again. I forgot." So she did. Heather Dinich from ESPN did put some cash in.
Awesome. Barry Coates, he is also here today with Special Olympics South Carolina, and there he is right there. And he'll join us on the air here in just a little bit as well. We also have another special guest we're going to introduce here in just a few minutes. But I'm going to run down. So if you go to 24hoursnbn.com, that's where you can register your donation for this event. And I just happened to be glancing through it earlier. You can do it anonymously, or you can put your name on it with a little note or something like that. And so I did a couple of them for my 2 children. You did one as well. But some interesting names on here, some recognizable names like Ham, Mia, who's actually going to join Debbie later on today via the video feed. You'll be able to watch that. But it's neat because it's Ham Garcia-Parra. Her husband, of course, is Nomar Garcia-Parra. So their donation is in. And there's a bunch of folks, Robin Pington and just a bunch of folks in the basketball world and beyond, the broadcast world, names that you might see on TV, here on radio, things like that, that have contributed to this event again this year. Clemson's Hall of Famer Tim Beret, former SID. Up at Clemson, our friend Mike Gillespie with ABC up in Columbia, just a few, and I'm literally just getting started on the list here. And if you keep going, you see some big ones. So, but Debbie will tell you much more about what's going to happen today here in just a little bit. Some guest appearances: Dabo Sweeney, Frank Martin, mentioned Mia Hamm, some WNBA All Stars will be present for this. So once again, she's crushed it once again.
Not only All Stars. Elena Deladon.
Yeah. like the best player in the league?
MVP, world champ, but all-star.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like the best player in the league. All right, so, Barry, I got you. We're going to give you 1 minute, and I'll get you in here. Yep. Yes, sir. We're going to grab you and let you and Debbie tell us more than we know. But what we're going to do now we're going to bring in a special guest. And you can take this mic off of this stand here and hold it closer to you, just like I'm doing. This voice you're going to hear is a 12-year-old girl from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, named Hadley Irvin. Hi, Hadley.
Hi.
All right, so I have a special connection to her. She is,
right?
Yeah, she is actually my cousin. But I'm not doing family favors today. That's not what this was about. Today's about
but
Debbie.
You can.
Well, I can. The reason that Hadley is sitting in here, Hadley knows Debbie a little bit, right? How do you know Debbie?
I've gone to a lot of her camps and a lot of practices with her. And she's really close to my coach, the school that I go to.
Where do you go to school?
I'm Christ Our King.
All right. And what is that coach's name? Alexa. So, but what is it about Debbie? Because when I talk to Hadley, Darren, and this is one of the things that you and I constantly discuss about Debbie.
Okay.
How personable she is and how much she truly cares. When you talk to Debbie, why do you like talking basketball with Debbie, Hadley? Why do you like playing basketball in front of Debbie? What makes her? What does she do to make you feel good about yourself?
She really pushes me to do better, which I really like because I've become so much better at basketball and practicing.
And you're 12.
Yes, sir.
And so Debbie's going to shoot 2,400 free throws starting at noon today.
Yes.
She'll make 2,400 free throws.
Definitely, yeah.
How many did you make yesterday in your driveway?
I made 360.
What? How long did it take you to make 360?
I think just about 2 hours. Not.
How many did you miss when you made 360?
I'm actually not sure.
Did you miss more than, say, 30?
Yeah.
Really?
That's okay.
All right. Yeah, no, that's still, that's 90%. That's more than 90. That's still really good.
She made 360 free throws.
That's a lot more than what I did yesterday.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But what has inspired you to go out and shoot free throws like that?
Just because, that's my passion is basketball, and I want to get better so I can do more in basketball.
Obviously, Hadley, last year, your family, your mom and dad, donated to this, right?
Yes.
And they've done it again. And you remember this event last year with Miss Debbie.
Yes.
Okay, so this is year number 2. Watching Miss Debbie last year hit 2,400 free throws as a young girl, you were 11 at the time.
Yes.
Did that inspire you a little bit?
Definitely, yeah.
It did? Is it because you know Debbie, or is it because of Debbie's connection to you and how she makes you feel when you play the game of basketball?
It's definitely how she makes me feel.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She's pretty special, huh?
Definitely.
The whole Antonelli family. How about Frankie over there? He's a DJ. Did you know that?
He's really good.
He's really good, isn't he? He's going to be spinning some tunes here in just a little while.
I've heard he puts on, jam sessions here for the neighborhood, the socially distant jam sessions.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's pretty talented stuff.
Yeah.
What do your friends say about Coach Debbie?
They say she's amazing.
Yeah.
And when I ever say did you see what she did? They're yeah, that was so cool.
Do you watch when you know that she's going to be calling a game on TV? Do you try to turn the game on? If you're not in bed, right? You better get in bed. You've got to bed. I know what time your bedtime is. But if you're able to watch, do you watch Miss Debbie while she's on TV?
Yeah, I try.
Do you listen to her when she talks?
Yes.
Why do you do that? It's
really nice to hear her voice and just hear what she has to say, so then I can listen off of that and do better in basketball.
Yeah, and that's what she's 12, and we're in our 30s. Well, I am. But what you're hearing from a young 12-year-old girl are the same things that we say as adults. And we're trying to set the stage here of who the Antonelli family is, and then pairing that with this event today, which obviously we've got plenty of time to discuss here. But one of the main reasons, in addition to the fact that Special Olympics South Carolina, Darren, is so special, is because there is a very special person and family that is doing this.
Oh, yeah.
And Debbie always, she never takes credit. She always shrugs that off her shoulders and just kind of moves on with her life and goes out and starts shooting free throws again or calling the next game or whatever she does. She's always busy. But this thing gets so much positivity surrounding it up until the event and even post-event because of the way Debbie makes you feel, right? She makes everybody feel a part of it.
Who was it? It was Gene Sapikoff. How did he refer to Debbie? I mean, not just one of the nicest people that you could possibly meet. I forget the exact words that he used, but it was over the top, like above and beyond what anybody else can possibly achieve.
Absolutely, absolutely, and the whole family is like that as well. It's a bunch of athletes that we're surrounded by who are much better than we ever dreamed of being here. Maybe Hadley will be that next great athlete that'll be better than the rest of us.
I didn't hit 360 free throws a day when I was 12.
Yeah, it's impressive stuff. Right? Who is your favorite basketball player?
Probably LeBron James.
LeBron James?
Probably, yeah.
Are you watching The Last Dance?
I am not.
Well, she's going to. Mom, I think Mom's been recording that, the censored version. The censored version.
That's fair.
Who's your favorite college basketball team?
Well, she just got drafted to the WNBA, but her name's Kiki.
Oh, yeah. And who does she play for?
She played for South Carolina.
And that's your favorite team?
Definitely.
I never would have guessed. Not only related to JB, but wearing a Gamecock shirt.
Mm-hmm. Hadley, we're gonna hit the pause button with you for just a second so we can reset the scene here. But hang tight, we're gonna bring you back in just a little bit when Miss Debbie joins us, okay?
Okay.
All right, there you go. One of our special guest hosts today, Hadley Irvin, and her brother Ren is here, and her parents, and of course Hadley has been coached by Debbie in the past, and maybe will be in the future. Again, we are live, the JB and Goldwater Show on the Podbean app, and we appreciate you listening to us there. The pregame show is what we're hosting right now, which will be concluded in about 45 minutes before the event is set to kick off. We're live on the 24 Hours Nothing But Net YouTube channel, also on Twitter, at Debbie Antonelli. You can watch our video stream from here, and when we're done, you get to see the good stuff. That's what's going to be, you'll be watching from noon until noon tomorrow.
You know what's good stuff? I see your phone. You have the current amount of donations, which is up. I want to say it's up 5,000 or 6,000 from yesterday when I saw it. I mean, we're more than halfway there, so we're going to have to push up this 100 thing, or at least expect that this is going to get shattered.
Yeah, we're over the halfway mark. If the goal is $100,000, she's on track. $53,327 now is what that number stands at here at 11:15. On this Saturday morning. We're going to get Barry Coates in here in just a little bit as well, and he'll talk to us from the Special Olympics, South Carolina Special Olympics side of this. Last year, again, this event took place at the Town Hall Gym here in Mount Pleasant, and it was special, but we're in the middle of a pandemic, so can't do that. So they're social distancing out here.
Oh, yeah.
And following all the guidelines. And things like that. You and I aren't. We're closer than 6 feet. But
you know what they're doing? They're working hard on Windex the glass up there.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen Patrick up there. I've seen once or twice.
Patrick, you've been Windexing the glass?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
10 minutes. That backboard is cleaner than the front door at my house. That's impressive. And Frankie is set to spin some tunes later, right? Oh, you've got your Jordans. Are those Jordans? Oh, those are the Deladons. Yeah. Oh, wow. Those are sweet.
Are those the ones that open in the back and then you slide your foot in? Yeah, that's right.
Those are fantastic. And Frankie's going to play some basketball later on today as well. He's set to get into I think he's going to play horse later on today. So, again, it's a family event here, but the Antonelli family is rather large. They welcome just about anybody, and certainly we appreciate that invitation. Darren, you know, you mentioned just a minute ago that, and again, if you go to 24hoursnbn.com, that is where you can donate, 24hoursnbn.com. A penny of free throws, $24, a nickel is $120, a dime is $240, and 15 cents, $360, or you can donate whatever you want to.
Yeah.
But you mentioned a moment ago that $5 or $6 grand just since yesterday. And the event hasn't even started. We've been watching this throughout the week, and gosh, when we started this week, it was in the low 30s.
Well, going back to last week, I mean, I think 13 was what it was when I first realized, when we first really started pushing it, so 2 weeks ago or so, and then it went to 18, and then it was like 23.
Right.
And then, it was in the 30s. Yesterday, it was in the mid upper 40s, and now we're clear of 50.
Right over 50, and probably going to fly through it. Good news is, too, it's gorgeous outside. There's not a drop of rain, I don't even know if in the state of South Carolina, and quite frankly, there hasn't been for about 2 weeks. And I can tell you that just by looking at my grass every morning. But it is a beautiful day. And again, you can watch, hopefully, if you're listening to us on the Podbean app, thank you, and we appreciate that. But again, you can actually watch this live stream on the YouTube channel, 24 hours, nothing but net. And if you're on Twitter, at Debbie Antonelli. Let me get back to this list. No, what were you? Did you have something?
I was just simply admiring the day. I mean, we got a nice breeze. We're in the shade.
Sure.
It's beautiful.
Well, that was one of the things I said when I knew you were going to beat me here. I said, put us in the shade.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to sit out here and, lose half of myself.
Right.
It wouldn't be the worst move in the world, but I'm not trying to do it.
No, we don't want to do that. Back to this list here again. You can be anonymous, or you can have your name mentioned on this list on 24hoursNBN.com. But I mentioned Tim Beret and Mia Hamm and Nomar Garcia-Parra, some popular names that you may know publicly that have already donated. How about LaChina Robinson?
Ooh.
How about Bob Rathman, who's been calling games for a long, long time?
Oh, that's one of the guys in this region who I haven't met, but everybody who talks about Bob has only glowing things to say about him.
He's fantastic, first of all, in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a feeling I might know somebody who can introduce you to him if that's if you really want to meet him.
I mean, yeah, sooner or later we will probably cross paths. It's odd that we haven't yet.
Kind of scrolling through again, our friend Jeff McCarriger also donated. There is a Goldwater sighting on there.
Yeah.
Mark Packer is donated, and I believe Mark actually is set to join Debbie later on today as well in West Durham. Kelsey Riggs, she has donated. Of course, Kelsey Riggs is right here from Charleston.
Yeah.
She is from James Island.
So everyone from the ACC network kind of did it at the same time. Kelsey, Mark, and Wes.
In West Durham, yeah. And they're all set to join Debbie today. Barry Coates, who is here. His donation is in as well. And so, again, I'm not going to read off all these things, but you can be a part of that. And Barry's going to come up in just a little bit, and he'll explain exactly, where all of this money goes and what it does and what it means to them and things like that. So, again, it's 11:20 a.m. here on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon, live for 24 hours, nothing but net with Debbie Antonelli in Mount Pleasant. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we return, I think we're going to bring the Star in. The Star, you ready, Star? You? In just a few minutes? Well, yeah, Frankie. Frankie's going to be part of this, too. So we'll get Debbie in here, and Barry, and Frankie, and the rest of the gang, and much more to come. 40 minutes to go on the pregame show is what they're calling it here, and we'll be right back.
DB's Cheesesteaks, the tastiest, juiciest, and now award-winning cheesesteaks in the Low Country. DB's Cheesesteaks delivers, and not just in quality. Download DoorDash, Uber Eats, or your delivery app of choice and have it dropped off at your doorstep. Original chicken, buffalo chicken, even pizza cheesesteaks, not to mention incredible cheeseburgers, massive hot dogs, and dynamite hoagies. It's all there for you and your family. DB's Cheesesteaks in West Ashley. dbscheesesteaks.com.
Guys, if you missed it at the last remote, Stokes Volkswagen has some incredible deals right now. 2019-2020 new VWs, 120 days until your first payment, 0% APR for 72 months, plus 150 used cars on the lot. Over 1,000 more are available, and flexible finance options if you recently lost your job. Check them out, Stokes Volkswagen off Ashley Phosphate.
Honey Baked Ham in Somerville and in Mount Pleasant is your home for catering and lunch. Honey Baked Somerville, owned by former Gamecock right-hander Mike Cisco, is just off the interstate, and they are ready to cater to your next business or family meal. Plus, drop in for an incredible sandwiches daily for lunch. The Mount Pleasant location is at the foot of the Ravenel Bridge and always ready to serve and cater to your next meals as well. Plus, delivery is available. Honeybake.com to find your menu today. Honey Baked Ham in Somerville and in Mount Pleasant is your home for catering and lunch. Honey Baked Somerville, owned by former Gamecock right-hander Mike Cisco, is just off the interstate, and they are ready to cater to your next business or family meal. Plus, drop in for an incredible sandwiches daily for lunch. The Mount Pleasant location is at the foot of the Ravenel Bridge and always ready to serve and cater to your next meals as well. Plus, delivery is available. Honeybake.com to find your menu today.
Your online radio. The new online radio that makes you happy.
The JB and Goldwater Show.
And when I was going through Carmichael, showing my classmates where, what Carmichael was, and this is where we played, and this is where the great teams for Dean Smith played, Michael Jordan happened to be down on the court shooting. So from the top, I yelled down, "Hey, Michael," like anybody would, right? And he looked up and waved, and I said, "Can I come down there and get my picture with you?" And he said, "Yes." So I did.
Cool. All right, welcome back to the JB and Goldwater Show, live, loud, online, and today on location in Mount Pleasant at 24 Hours, Nothing But Net with Debbie Antonelli. And this is year number 2 of this event, and she is set to join us now. As long as that mic's on, it is on. So that's all good news. And what's up? You ready?
Guys, listen, I'm so thankful you're here. We're so excited about the day. I'm always overwhelmed emotionally about how many people get involved and want to make a difference and help, because it doesn't matter what amount. It matters for programming, for training, for Special Olympics, and this is an incredible day, right? I mean, the weather's beautiful. I didn't get much sleep last night. I got to hope my training is good enough, and I got to trust the process, with everything I've done the last 6 months to get ready. And I really appreciate you guys being here. You were a great help last year. You helped us be able to have a second-year event because people were really interested and genuinely wanted to get involved. So thank you.
What have you done today? I mean, just in the first few hours of the
since
day.
you woke up?
Yeah, well, I mean, have you been standing? I would have been just laying on the couch all day.
Well, first I cleaned the kitchen, and then I just did my normal thing. I tried to have breakfast at 10. That's what I did last year. I'm trying to remember the things I did last year that would allow me to have the right energy and to stay hydrated and things like that. My guys, Team Antonelli, from my husband, Joey, Frankie, and Patrick, have all been huge helps. Special Olympics obviously has been a big help. It's great to have Hadley's parents here to help out as well. So I love seeing Hadley. She makes me smile, and I'm so proud of her.
Well, we had her. You can pick that mic up, Hadley. I mentioned earlier that Hadley obviously is a family member, but that's not why we had her grab a mic. She's a young lady who has been impacted by you, and I said this earlier, and you were hopefully not listening because I know you don't like compliments a lot. But one of the reasons this stuff works is because of you and your family. And what you do. That's why there's so much support, and people like Hadley are impacted by the things that you say and the energy that you have and provide and the positivity and things like that. What does it mean to you when you know there's kids who look up to Debbie Antonelli?
Well, I mean, Hadley, especially Hadley, because she and I are built the same way. When I was 12, that's about what I look like.
Really?
And so I've encouraged Hadley all the time to do push-ups and sit-ups and to keep working on her game, and she continues to do that. She keeps getting better, and she's got an incredibly positive attitude, and so, people think it's what we give. It's really what the kids give us back. And Hadley gives great energy in the gym. She tries. She listens. She wants to be better. She wants to be a good athlete, and so she understands what it takes to do that. And I'm really proud of her because she has been to many of my camps and clinics. She always comes with a big smile and a huge effort. And what more could you ask for?
Don't cry, Hadley. She's a crier. Why does Miss Debbie make such an impact on people of your age?
Because she pushes us to do so much better than what we think we can do.
I'm not easy on them either. I don't just sugarcoat it. I tell them exactly, right, Hadley? I mean, yes, I'm sure there's been times where I've probably said to Hadley, you can do that better. Try it again. All right, let's try it this way, because I want them to create good habits. As a parent, we want our kids to create good habits in everything they do. So that's what we do when we go in the gym. No messing around.
Hadley, have you heard that coaches are really only hardest on the ones that they really believe in?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's why you're getting the coaching like that.
Does she remind you of your parents sometimes?
Sometimes, but in a good way.
Yeah. So before we get all in get all the Special Olympics conversation into this, and we want to talk about your kids and all of this stuff, I want to ask you a basketball question.
Okay, sure.
What does it mean, in the words of Debbie Antonelli, to be an aggressive basketball player?
There's a physical side of that. There's a mental side of it. So to be aggressive to me means that you have put in so much time and repetition that you have incredible confidence. And if you have confidence, that allows you to play more aggressively. And so if you have confidence and you've put in the reps, then you might go after a ball that maybe you think you can't get, or you might hustle a little bit more, or you might go a little harder to the basket. I think all those things come into play, but it takes incredible physical conditioning, and it takes a mental toughness. So that's what I think about being aggressive.
Who's the most aggressive player you ever watched?
Oh, gosh.
Is it Michael?
Oh, wow. Michael's incredible, right? I mean, who doesn't love Michael? I mean, I'm so happy the documentary has come out now.
Isn't that amazing?
And, we knew he was great, but did we really know the in-depth, inside look? In the documentary, The Last Dance, has been absolutely phenomenal. At 6:15 today, we're going to have Will Perdue on with us.
Oh, fantastic.
And he's going to, he was a great player, and he was a teammate of Michael's, and he's been all over the documentary. And we're going to spend a few minutes with him talking about that, because tonight is episodes 9 and 10. Tomorrow night. Sunday night.
I was about to say,
I hope I'll be awake, because I really want to watch it.
Debbie, you're going to have to take a 2-hour break tonight. Okay. That is fantastic. So, again, we are live on the 24 Hours Nothing But Net YouTube channel, and also streaming on Debbie's Twitter page at Debbie Antonelli. You can follow us at JB_Goldwater if you'd like to, but that's where you really need to be, and we appreciate you joining us. All right. Here we go, into the specifics of what we're going to see this afternoon. First and foremost, we're over $53,000 now. What does that number mean to you?
Well, it's more than what we started with last year, and it means there's a lot of people that want to help make a difference for young adults and people with intellectual disability and understand the value of sport. The one thing about the pandemic, it has allowed us all to sort of reconnect, reconfigure, reboot. And for us, we've always kept sport in perspective, even though it happens to be our careers. My husband and I both are involved in sport, but I think sport teaches valuable lessons, and it helps you make healthy choices, and it keeps you socialized and engaged and involved, and that's what Special Olympics does too. It's not the same level as being a D1 athlete, but the competitiveness, the competitive spirit, the training, as hard as they work to prepare. If you've ever been to a Special Olympic event, you can't come away from that without feeling inspired and empowered and think that you can do some good. And you can do some good today by helping us, because it will directly impact the athletes in South Carolina.
How far have the Special Olympics come since you have been as involved as you are?
You know what? Eunice Kennedy Shriver, I don't know why she doesn't have her own day yet. I mean, we should have a national holiday, because when she created Special Olympics, I don't remember when she created them, but I remember being in college doing some clinics. I remember I have a cousin who has Down syndrome, and I remember watching him and seeing him do different things. And, I think it's just amazing how far it's come. And it's not just the physical part of it. There's an emotional and a social part of it that's really important. And we all know, for the total well-being of your kid, whether your kid has special needs or intellectual disability or whatever, we all want them to be involved, and that's what Special Olympics does, and this money will help bring all that programming back when we come back from our new normal.
Great.
This event, Debbie, when did you start planning this event?
Oh, gosh. Well, this is our second year, so the pandemic put us in the driveway, and we'll see how that works. I've had a lot of people ask me if I have a home court advantage. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see if that works out. I know I won't have to sleep in a tent if I want to lay down. And last year I only had 15 minutes, and that was pretty much because every time we looked, the number kept going up. And every time the number goes up, it is personal for me, because I know people. Most of the people that are giving are people that I know, and that's really strong.
What do you expect today? Obviously we're in your driveway.
Yeah.
And we're not in a gym somewhere, so this isn't. I said earlier, this is a family event.
Yes.
But the Antonelli family, your last name doesn't just have to be Antonelli to be a part of your family. We've discovered that over the last couple of years.
That's right. You guys are part of Team Antonelli. That's what I call it. During our course of our many years through public education with Frankie all the way through his rising senior year at Clemson Life.
He's a senior already?
He's a senior, yes.
That's incredible.
We've had what I call Team Antonelli, and if you have impacted our family in any way, whether you were a teacher, a therapist, whether you were a trainer, his skill trainer, whether you were a friend or a student in his class, if you were somebody that helped us along our way, because it does take a village, I will use that cliche, it is 100% true, then I considered you to be a part of Team Antonelli. Now, if you didn't do your job well, or you didn't play your role, and you weren't a good teammate, well, I cut you.
Simple as that. You get one shot.
I did give some people some chances. There were, lots of stories through the course of advocating for him educationally inside the public school system here in Charleston County. I mean, I don't want to call out anybody's names for slander reasons, but I know who those people are. They know who they are. They know who got cut. They understand that we weren't messing around, because I would never sacrifice my son in the process of trying to help him outside of what people would consider a cookie-cutter education for people with intellectual disability. I would never allow that to happen. And if you're a parent out there and you're listening, call me or hit me up. I'll be glad to tell you some stories, because I've talked to a lot of parents over our time about what we've done to advocate for Frankie and the choices that we made. There are choices. They don't work for everyone, but there's things that we've done. And Team Antonelli is it's a real thing.
Early on in Frankie's life, this is kind of a personal question, but you answer every question, and so that's why I'm going to ask it, because you're so great at this. when you discovered what was to come with Frankie, what were your emotions, and how did you deal with that?
Well, we didn't know. First of all, Frank and I did not know that Frankie had Down syndrome when he was born. It was an hour after he was born, and it took the doctor 3 times to come in and tell us.
Wow.
And we had already called our families and told everybody he was here, and everybody knew we were going to have Frankie. We were having a Frankie, and we were so excited. And, it was shocking. Mm-hmm. It was devastating and shocking at first, and I'm not afraid to admit it, because I did struggle with it. Frank handled it so much better than I did at the beginning. But there came a time where, you have to make a choice. And so my great coach, Kay Yao, who I played for at NC State, who is in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, had a direct impact on me. I had seen her 9 months after Frankie was born. She knew I was struggling a little bit. She said, how you doing? And I said, I'm doing fine. And she said, no, really, how are you? And so she knew, because I had a great relationship with my coach. And I told her, that I was struggling, and she basically, to shorten up the version of the story, is she told me, whenever you have adversity, and it can be anybody out there that faces adversity, having a child with special needs and not knowing was a little bit shocking. Today, things are so different now, right? I mean, we have so much hope and inspiration. When Frankie was born, college wasn't an option for families like ours. We've got lots of things to look forward to. It's very encouraging. But at that time, it was first you nurse the hurt, then you curse the hurt, then you rehearse looking for empathy, and then at some point you make a choice that you're going to reverse. And her conversation with me sort of pulled me out, because then I took a step back and I thought, you know what? I've got to be the best mom to Frankie that I can be, just like I want to be for Joey and Patrick. And that's the way we looked at it. And from that point on, it was full steam ahead. Like, don't get in our way, because we're on the tracks and we're moving. And I'm never going to compromise or sacrifice Frankie in the process for, like I said, a cookie cutter education.
You talked about sports and how important sports are when you were just, talking about being a coach. And now you're talking about how when your life changed, it was sports and your coach who helped turn that part around for you. I mean, sports has been with you from day one, and now it's sports that you're using to give back.
That's why you guys are such good journalists, because you just brought it back full circle, Darren. That's what we were talking about, is the value of sport in our lives and why it's important. And yes, I've been very lucky. Like Hadley, I had great parents who allowed me to play whatever I wanted, and I got to play a lot of different sports, and I didn't specialize in anything. my high school teammates and my college teammates are still my best friends today. And so there's a lot to be said about what sport can mean, and if you keep it in the right perspective. We saved our money so we could pay for our kids to go to college, and my son Patrick is going to be a D3 point guard next year at Emory and Henry, and we're very proud of him because nobody gave him anything. He had to work for everything, and he did, and it only took one person that believed in him, and Ben Thompson at Emory and Henry does. And Patrick's working his tail off this summer to get ready, so when he shows up on campus, he's ready to be a contributor and a great teammate to Emory and Henry.
Ben says hi. I was trying to get a polo overnighted down here for me to wear, but I didn't think about it until like Thursday, so it didn't happen. But he says hello.
We're doing like a signing day here.
Yes, tonight,
so,
right?
Yeah,
6:30.
tonight, 6:30. Patrick Antonelli and Aiden McCool, one of Patrick's teammates. Aiden is going to play basketball at the University of Maryland. So we're going to do a pseudo signing / in-home visit, if you will.
That's fantastic.
And some of the Bishop England teammates will be here, and I'm really proud of all of those boys. They're going to be friends for life, and that's what matters.
Debbie, we know that you got to get ready to go here in just a moment, and we really appreciate you having us out here and having the extended time with you today as well.
I'm excited, you guys. Thank you. I do want you to spend some time with Barry.
We are about to. Yeah, he's on deck. He's been over there getting his swings in, so he's ready to go.
He's ready. He's always ready.
Yeah.
We're lucky to have Barry leading our Special Olympic campaign in South Carolina, and he's been doing it for a long time. It's personal for him too, and he believed when I called him, and when you asked me about the idea, when I called Barry didn't even flinch. There were a lot of people that went, "You're going to do what? How? What are you going to do?" Barry was 100% in at the beginning.
Hadley, before Miss Debbie gets off the air, do you have any good luck?
Yeah, you're going to do great.
Did Hadley tell you what she did yesterday? Did you tell Debbie?
I shot 360 shots.
No.
No, you didn't shoot.
You
300.
made 360 free throws yesterday.
Yeah.
Muscle memory and the ability to self-correct. That's what I'm thinking about when I'm on the free throw line today. And I'll be thinking about you. I'm so proud of you. That's great.
Isn't that
Thank
cool?
you.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
That's
and
awesome.
she is going to donate $5 for every shot she made yesterday.
Hadley.
I will.
That's all of her Christmas money from the last
All
10
her
years.
babysitting money and everything that she's done, right? Yeah.
And I will do that.
Oh no, I
No,
haven't.
Hadley. No, you don't have to do that. I'm so glad you're here to share part of the day with us. Thank you.
You're
Go
welcome.
get them.
Thank
We
you.
can't wait.
Thanks,
We can't
guys.
wait to watch this. So
You guys
thank
are
you so
awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. There you go,
Appreciate it.
Debbie
Thank you.
Antonelli. She is
I know, right?
is today's star, yesterday's star, will be tomorrow's star, and heading towards that $100,000 mark. All right, next up, he's been standing on deck. That was a long at bat there, Barry. But we're going to get you in here in just a moment. And again, we're live on the Podbean app, the JB and Goldwater Show, daily from noon to 2, but now also on Saturdays from 11 to 12 from Debbie's driveway. We'll just make this, Debbie, we're going to make this going forward. This will be our Saturday location. Is that cool? Whether y'all are in town or not, we're going to be here. Just leave
Why
the door
only
open.
Saturday?
Every Saturday, 11 to 12.
Oh, all right.
Just right here under Debbie's.
I was thinking every
under
day.
this
I mean,
tree.
it's a nice place.
It's better than our studio. No, okay. Anyways, live on the Podbean app, and of course, if you're watching the stream, we appreciate that on YouTube. 24 hours, nothing but net. At Debbie Antonelli on Twitter, at JB_Goldwater on Twitter. And now, I talked with Barry last year, so it's nice to see you again. This is Barry Coates. Yep, you're coming up. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to let Frankie sit there for a second, okay? How are you?
I'm doing great.
It's
How
good
are
to see you again.
Good to see y'all.
Well, I know we're doing the
that
social
chair's not
distancing.
comfortable, is it?
Well, I'm not sure it'll hold me. So
Oh, it'll hold
Debbie's
you.
half my size, so I'm going to stand up.
That's a Gamecock chair. That can hold everybody.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
been through lots of losses.
It's
It's taken its punishment.
And I've
as
been
strong
right
as
there
an
with
ox
it, I
there.
understand.
Year 2 of this event, Barry.
Incredible.
What does this mean to you? I mean, in your words, what does it mean?
Well, the fact that we are in the situation we're in, and Debbie and I have a conversation, and she's like, all right, how can we make this happen, given what, we're facing as a society right now? And, we talked through it, and she really, one big thing to her is making sure Special Olympics is still here 6 months, a year from now. And, we've had to cancel well over $500,000 of events. Revenue is certainly down because we aren't doing things right now from a fundraising standpoint. We've just kind of backed off, and this was important to her. This was one event that she said, you know what, I can do this social distancing, safely. We had talked about doing it at the high school, and then she came up with this great idea of doing it in her yard, and obviously picked a great day for it.
Sure.
In her driveway, and so it just went from there. So it's incredible that her goal is to make sure that we're still have those funds, so when our athletes come back, they're ready to roll, and that's kind of what it's all about.
When you hear about fundraisers and you hear every penny goes to anywhere, you still don't exactly know, as the person donating, where it's going. So where is this money going? How is it beneficial to the South Carolina Special Olympics?
Well, this now, we have a basketball program in Special Olympics. Basketball's a huge part of our society, so it's certainly a huge part of Special Olympics. We have our basketball program got so big that we separated it from any of our big state games. We have a state tournament every year. Unfortunately, it was right in the middle of this, and we had to cancel it this year. But this is nothing but 24 Hours Nothing But Net is now the sponsor of that event.
Oh, fantastic.
They are the main title sponsor of that event. And clothing, uniforms for our athletes, basketballs, whatever else we need. I mean, it's helping to fund all of those things. And it goes beyond that. I mean, it's certainly a big number that she's been able to hit. And I remember when we first started talking about this last year, she was like, if I could do $10,000 or $15,000 for Special Olympics, wouldn't that be great? And I'm like, yeah. And then she's, I think I'm gonna shoot for 25,000, and I'm like, well, that's a stretch, but yeah. And then we hit 85.
Right.
So it was incredible. So yeah, I mean, all of those things. She took the Clemson Life program. They took a trip to Atlanta for a Special Olympics basketball tournament. Yeah, my man Frankie over there. They went for the day and saw a Hawks game and all this. I mean, there's a ton of things that we do with those funds. I mean, certainly the bigger the funds are, the more that we can do.
Frankie?
I did get a text a few minutes ago. She is $6,000 ahead right now over what she was last year, which, given the situation we're in right now, is incredible.
Well, absolutely, and that's one of the things we were discussing with her just a little while ago. That number officially right now is at $53,453, and Debbie has set that mark at $100,000. And I'll be honest, I think we're going to hit it. I think this is going to happen. Whether it happens today or tomorrow or in the coming days is really irrelevant, as long as it hits it. I know Debbie wants to beat 85. You mentioned Clemson Life, and let's bring in the star of that program if you don't mind. I think you know this guy decent, right?
He's the man.
Frankie Antonelli, who is quite the celebrity, right? Are you a celebrity?
That's true.
All right. So, are you a better DJ or a better basketball player?
Both.
Yeah.
When did you start DJing?
I like play some music.
Okay.
How long have you been doing that?
Like a couple of days.
No, like how many years?
25 years.
Oh.
You've been DJing 25 years?
I think so.
Do you play music for your mom and dad and Joey and Patrick a lot?
I think it's Joey.
For Joey?
Yeah.
Is Joey a good dancer?
Yes.
Yeah, he is. What does what is your favorite event that you've been in? Was it the trip to Atlanta? Is that your favorite event? What's your favorite event that you've been a part of?
I like to play in the Hawks tournament.
That's it. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Did you get to see all the NBA stars? Did you get any autographs?
No, I did not.
No. We'll get some. But you might have Coach Sweeney's autograph, right?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a pretty good relationship with Coach Sweeney?
Yes.
Yeah?
How the Tigers going to do this year?
We're going to kill them all.
You might not be wrong.
No.
It might be right.
Haven't been wrong in 5 years. What does Clemson Life, what does that program mean to you, Frankie?
I just hang out with some friends, teachers, learning about disabilities.
What have you learned in that program?
Because I'm cook.
You cook?
Yes.
What's your what is your best meal?
Spaghetti meatballs.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
true Italian over there. Yeah.
Spaghetti meatballs, is that they're good?
Yeah.
So
yes.
can can Barry and Darren and I come over the next time you make spaghetti and meatballs?
If you come to my house, I will cook breakfast for you.
Breakfast?
Yeah.
We'll be here tomorrow.
So, wait, well, what's breakfast? Because spaghetti and meatballs probably isn't breakfast.
That's for dinner.
Right.
Have you ever seen the movie Elf?
I don't like Elf anymore.
You don't like Elf anymore?
No.
Well, he ate spaghetti for breakfast. He ate.
I've never heard of Elf.
He ate spaghetti for breakfast. Did you know that?
I mean, spaghetti for dinner.
Yeah, we'll eat spaghetti. So if you don't mind, if you'll make us all breakfast, then we'll come back for dinner. You think your mom would be okay with that?
Yes.
As long as we're 6 feet away, right? How long have you known Barry?
I know all the time.
A long time, right? You see him a lot?
I love giving a shout out to Debbie.
You want to give a shout out to your mom?
No, I'm going to give a shout out to my best buddy, Julian.
Okay.
All right. You can, Frankie, wave at the camera. And if they're watching, they'll see that.
Yes.
Athletes like Frankie.
Wait, I think it's that Julian right there.
Well,
so he's not watching.
You don't have to wave at the camera. Just wave.
Camera. He's watching right there.
Barry, athletes like Frankie who have been a part of these programs for years. It's hard not to have a relationship with them. You watch them. It doesn't matter their age. They could be 5, 15, 25, 45, whatever it is. But generally, when an athlete participates in a Special Olympics program, they stay. Why do they stay? Why do they stay so long?
Well, I've been with Special Olympics for 34 years myself, so I've seen these guys grow up, and it's incredible. And I have a 21-year-old with Down syndrome, and I've watched her develop. She started when she was 8, when you can start competing in program, and which is now younger, but back then it was 8. And I've watched her over the years develop those friendships, and they're lifelong friendships. And it's with kids with and without special needs. I mean, our program is so huge now, and you know they whatever they go bowling, you know, to train for a season, but it turns into a social aspect as well. I mean, after they've trained, they go out to dinner, they, you know, go to movies together, whatever. I mean, they hang out together. So Special Olympics certainly, and I think Debbie talked about this, how sport kind of drives a lot of our lives, and Special Olympics is the same way. Sports is kind of the vehicle for all these other things that happen on a daily basis with our athletes.
Frankie was just saying he had one other thing he definitely wants to get in here. He said, you got another shout out here, don't you?
My girlfriend is Brittany Kennedy.
Your girlfriend, Brittany Kennedy?
Yeah, my friend.
Well, girlfriend or friend?
Both.
Okay, good.
Is she going to be here today?
She's not here. She's in Georgia.
Okay, but we need to make sure we wave and tell her hello. So wave at the camera for her.
Brittany, it's for you.
Okay. Blow her a kiss. No, not gonna do that. Okay.
She got the hand wave.
That's right. Good enough.
I got best brother of the year.
Barry, obviously, this event is what we're focused on today. But as the leader of Special Olympics in the state of South Carolina, what are you focused on overall right now?
Well, our program just went over the 30,000 athlete mark. We have 30,704 athletes just in our little state of South Carolina. We're the 6th largest program in the country now, which is incredible. And, you know, we want more. I mean, I want 50,000 athletes. I mean, anybody that wants to be a part of our program, I want them in there. But we're so much more now than what we were even 5-10 years ago in terms of just sports. I mean, we're the world's largest health provider for our population. We have a healthy athletes program. We have a unified champion schools program. We're in 260 schools, I think, in South Carolina now. Last year we touched right at 200,000 students with and without intellectual disabilities, and you know, that's where we've seen the program really explode. When we started the education side of it, we've got kids now that we've seen since we started this 10, 11 years ago. We've seen them go through our program as peer partners in school. They're coming back as special ed teachers, they're donors, they're volunteers, they're board members. I mean, so the groundwork, the foundation has been laid over the last 10 years that really has ramped up our program and really made it explode. And, you know, we got to the point where as a parent of a child with special needs, you're looking for things to do, and I knew we had kind of hit that great place in our history of our program when my daughter, for example, she has to now pick and choose because there's so many things to do. There's so many opportunities that she has to pick and choose what to do. You can't do everything. It'd be 7 days a week, and we can only cart so much. But yeah, I think that's the thing. We've offered those opportunities, and now our athletes have options. It's not just I'm dying for something to do for my child, or I'm dying for something to do as an athlete. Now they have options, and that's what it's about, giving those opportunities that everybody else has.
What's been the most gratifying part of being associated with the Special Olympics? Has it been the growth, or has it been that and something else as well?
Certainly the growth. I mean, but growth without quality is worthless, and I think that the quality of our programs, I have a phenomenal staff. I've got a staff of 17 full-time across the state, and you can imagine trying to work with 30,000 plus. That's just athletes. You're talking about family members. You're talking about volunteers, et cetera. So my staff can only do so much. So the volunteers out there is what drives our program. And to see people that come into our program and want to give back, and they almost feel guilty when they leave because they feel like they got more than they gave. But I look at a lot of the success that we've had. I've got 16, 17 staff, and most of them have been with me more than a dozen years. I mean, our folks really get into the program. It becomes a lifestyle for us. I mean, I do this time of year, not this year, unfortunately, but this time of year, I can be somewhere, more than one place, every single weekend for an event.
Wow.
Whether it's a fundraiser, whether it's a program event. And, it's awesome to see how much support there is out there and how much people enjoy our program.
Frankie, I asked you what your favorite event was earlier. What is your favorite program?
My favorite program?
Yeah, what do you like to do the best? Is it basketball?
I like basketball.
Yeah. What else do you participate in?
I like play football.
Football?
I'm going to try out football team with Dabba Sweeney.
Nice.
What position? Are you going to go for quarterback? Because I hear they're looking for one up there.
You need a kicker.
Oh, they need a kicker.
Yeah. That's a pressure-packed job, though.
He knows what they need.
Yeah, I know.
They don't need anything but a kicker.
I'm still the manager of basketball.
Well, and you're pretty. You know Coach Brownell. You know Coach Lee in baseball.
Yeah.
And you know Coach Sweeney.
Amanda Butler.
Amanda Butler. Yeah. You know them all?
Yes.
You know Coach D-Rad, Dan Radakovich, the AD?
Yeah.
President?
Cummins.
That's right.
So you can pretty much do whatever you know everybody with power at Clemson. You can do whatever you want.
You have the key to the town, don't you?
I know that.
Yeah.
Do you think that do you think you could ever convert your brother Joey to be a Clemson fan?
No.
Probably not, huh?
I like to be a Gamecock fan.
You think he's going to convert you to be a Gamecock fan?
No, my dad does.
Your dad's going to try to convert you to be a Gamecock fan?
Yes.
You've already won more with Clemson in your life than he's
Don't listen
seen.
to Darren. Darren didn't get any sleep last
that's
night.
Painful.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I take cheap shots.
Yes, they've beaten us a lot. Do you have anything else you'd like to say before we let you go, buddy?
You can ask,
Are you going to play horse today?
you can ask me a couple of questions.
You have questions for us?
No, for me.
Okay. Are you going to play horse today?
Yes.
Who are you playing against?
That girl, Joey, and Patrick.
All of them.
Can you beat your brothers?
No.
Oh, and your best friend. You can't beat your brothers?
How about, let's do this. I put that girl, I can beat Debbie.
You can beat Debbie.
You can beat Debbie.
Yes.
Okay.
But not your brother.
That's a challenge.
Okay.
That's part of public
Joey's
record
my
now. So.
assistant trainer.
Oh, your assistant trainer.
Yeah.
Who's the head trainer?
Uncle Frank.
Oh, there you go. I got you. Well, we can't wait to watch you shoot, too. You'll be shooting today?
The greatest NBA player is Michael Jordan.
Uh-huh.
Yes, he is.
Are you liking The Last Dance?
You've been watching The Last Dance?
No, I don't. I like LeBron James better.
Really? You think LeBron James will beat Michael one-on-one?
He's making new movies. Space Jam 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Huh.
That's gonna be a tough decision. Which one's better, Space Jam 1 or 2?
It's going to be 2 because the graphics are going to be and the animations are going to be
I like
way
LeBron
better.
James better.
I like the old graphics. I still watch like Looney Tunes and stuff
Yeah,
like
of course
that.
you do.
I have 2 1-year-olds at the house, so we have to watch. Frankie, we got to let you go, buddy.
Oh, quick, the music tone.
It's time for you to get ready to get some music rolling right along. But we thank you, okay?
You're welcome.
Go get them today. We're excited to watch you.
Ready to see music?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Turn on
Let's
some
do it.
music. All right, let's do it. All right, about 2 minutes left here, Barry. If you don't mind, if you'll end the show with us, we'd
Sure,
appreciate
absolutely.
that. Again, you can watch Debbie and Frankie and everything else that will be happening between noon and noon tomorrow, all night long.
Noon and noon.
So just stay right on up through the night. Real quick. You mentioned you're continuing to try to grow and get more athletes. Again, with athletes, you do need volunteers. How can people volunteer?
Absolutely. Well, you can go to our website, www.so-sc.org is our website, and certainly you can, whatever you do, Google or however you search for it anymore with all these things now, to search the Special Olympics South Carolina and contact us. I have a real accessible staff that will hook people up in the local community. And we have programs all over the state, all 46 counties. We have something going on. Even the small counties, we try to get something going on. And that's come out, and people can volunteer. We have people that volunteer a day a year and, 52 weeks a year. So it's a lot of opportunities.
It's up to you.
What's the next event coming up? Do we know
Well,
yet? Or
You're still on hold?
We
on
hope,
hold.
right. We hope that.
Well, I know the Mount Pleasant Rec Department's getting open back up.
Yeah,
right? So-
we've had to cancel our program events through the end of June, just out of an abundance of caution.
Oh, right.
We have certainly an at-risk population, and a lot of our athletes are extremely healthy, but in general, we want to be careful, and our national office had recommended that. So we have a tennis tournament coming up in, I think it's in early September. We've got a state tennis tournament. We've got a national tennis tournament that we host in Hilton Head, have been doing for, 20 years now. That's phenomenal. We'll have typically 18 to 20 states. So we've had other countries. We have teams from Italy and Spain, whatever, come over and participate. We have our state fall games in October in Myrtle Beach. That one, I'm certainly holding out hope that'll happen. We don't have a resurgence of this mess, and if it's, we're going on along the lines of that things are going to be great, and then if we have to fall back, we fall back. But we're doing our best to make sure that these programs are out there, because our athletes miss us. I mean, they miss being involved in Special Olympics, and we're doing a lot of virtual stuff now, a lot of virtual training. Our staff is we've been working hard when we're sitting at home now, having to work from the house, but our staff's been busting it. I mean, they've put together some creative things for our population to do while they're at home, because, we don't want them sitting at home on the couch and, like probably most of us sitting around eating the whole time you're there.
That's
right. So keeping them active, and, hopefully, again, we get through this, and we did have to cancel our summer games this year, 52 years running.
Wow.
First time we've ever had to cancel it, which was certainly a tough thing for us. But, again, it was a safe thing to do.
In about 30 seconds here, music's going to cut on, and then we got to get out of here. But I want to give you a few seconds to give some words of encouragement to the superstar over there, Debbie Antonelli.
I'd say she's incredible, isn't she?
Yeah, special.
Yeah, she I go a long way back with the Antonellis. First time I met Frankie was handing me a $25,000 check for Special Olympics.
Wow.
And
That's a good way to meet somebody.